Karen Redd found not guilty in death of Boston police officer boyfriend John O'Keefe. In a dramatic turn of events that shook a divided community and gripped the entire country, Karen Redd has been acquitted of the murder of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. The 2022 case, filled with twists, public outcry, and accusations of a cover-up, finally reached its conclusion after a tense and emotional second trial. John O'Keefe, 46, was found early in the morning on January 29, 2022, lying unconscious in the snow outside a house in Canton, Massachusetts. The house belonged to a fellow officer, Brian Albert. O'Keefe was severely injured, suffering blunt force trauma, 2 black eyes and deep gashes on his arm and head. The freezing temperatures only worsened his condition, and he later died from a combination of his injuries and hypothermia. Prosecutors painted a disturbing picture. They claimed that Karen Redd, then 45, had dropped O'Keefe off at the party, backed into him with her SUV while drunk, and left him in the snow to die. They charged her with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence, and several other serious offenses. But Reed and her legal team told a very different story, one that suggested a deep and disturbing cover-up. According to her defense, O'Keefe never even made it out of that house alive. They argued he was attacked during a fight inside the home, possibly even mauled by a dog, and then dumped outside to protect those involved. Her lawyers claimed that Reed had been framed, and that police were protecting one of their own. For many, the courtroom became a battleground between belief and doubt, loyalty and justice. Community members and supporters took sides, some backing Redd and others believing in the prosecution's version of events. After weeks of testimony and 4 long days of jury deliberations in Norfolk County Superior Court, the verdict was finally announced. Karen Redd was found not guilty on all the most serious charges, including second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. The jury did, however, find her guilty of operating under the influence. As the verdict was read, emotions ran high. Karen Redd, surrounded by her legal team, broke down in tears. Supporters gathered outside the courthouse in Dedham, cheered, shouting, "Karen is free!" Walking out of the courthouse at 3:37 p.m., Redd faced a large crowd of friends, family, and vocal backers. With tears in her eyes and her voice trembling with emotion, she said, "I would not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have stood by me, financially, emotionally, and spiritually." She continued, "No one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have, and my team." It was a powerful moment, and one that underscored just how much this trial was about more than just guilt or innocence. For Redd and her supporters, it was about restoring a life shattered by what they believed was a system that had turned against her. Reed's legal troubles began in 2022 when she was arrested and charged with O'Keefe's death. She pleaded not guilty from the start, insisting she had done nothing wrong. Her first trial in 2024 ended in a mistrial, with jurors unable to reach a consensus after 5 grueling days of deliberation. Her second trial, though equally intense, brought closure. In a motion filed shortly before the verdict, Redd's lawyers had asked the court to revise the wording of the jury verdict slips, arguing that confusing language had affected the first trial's outcome. During the second trial, Reed's team once again pushed their theory that John O'Keefe had been assaulted inside the house. They pointed to deep arm wounds possibly caused by a dog, suggested tensions between O'Keefe and other partygoers, and alleged mishandling of evidence by authorities. They even went so far as to accuse law enforcement of planting evidence to cover up the true circumstances of his death. This wasn't just a murder case. It was a case that challenged trust in law enforcement, stirred raw emotions, and left a community searching for answers. Now that the verdict is in, one thing is clear. Karen Redd is a free woman, but the debate over what really happened that snowy night in 2022 may continue for years to come.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.